Welcome to Magnify Your Magnificence, the podcast for anyone ready to stop shrinking and start remembering who they really are. This isn't about fixing yourself. You were never broken. It's about peeling back the doubt, the fear, the not enoughness, and letting what's already magnificent in you shine through. I'm Sue, your magnificence mentor. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's begin. Greetings, my magnificent ones. Sue Paulson here, your magnificence mentor. Welcome back to another exciting episode. Get your magnifying glasses out because today we are going to talk about the topic of joy, an essential component to embracing your own magnificence. Now, to do that, I have a special guest whose name is Ted Kopecko, who's here to share what he's learned about joy. Now, he has a particular acronym that relates to joy, and I'm going to let him talk about that and talk a little bit about himself as we get into it. So welcome, Ted, to the show.
Sue, I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I love your podcast.
Thank you.
You are giving great value to the audience. Hey, audience, you realize the value that Sue gives you all the time? And I hope I can be part of that. So thank you for having me here.
It's my absolute pleasure. So just a little bit that I learned about Ted as we all have bios. And so I learned that he started his work life as an architect after some, I'm sure, fairly grueling schooling.
That's right.
And since that time, he's become a commercial real estate broker. Probably the most exciting and important thing about him lately is his book, which is called Finding Joy, The Journey of You, which has become a #1 international bestseller. So we're going to dive in and explore all the facets of Ted and of joy. So Ted, let me take you back. The first thing I'd like to ask you is I'd like to take you back to your just about ready to launch yourself into the idea of some kind of a career and so on. And our parents tell us certain things about the work world long before we're ready to get invested in that. So what did you grow up hearing? The expectations, the beliefs, the whatever it is that you were kind of schooled in before you even went further in your schooling?
Well, Sue, thanks for that question. If you don't mind, I'll just do a quick little 10-second
Sure.
bio.
Yeah, absolutely.
So because it lays the foundation of the book, Finding Joy, Journey of You. And for everybody to understand this up front, the book is not about me. It's about each one of us in our lives. So I really want everybody, when we're having this discussion, really think about where you're at in your life and how you can move your life forward. I started out in life as a commercial architect. I had a very, very strong mom. She said to me, "You're never going to work as hard as your dad. You and your sister are going to have your own businesses. Now get out there and get out of the nest," right? And after I graduated from college, I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Mhm.
And you're right, it was grueling. It was like my sister, who's a doctor, I tell her, I said, "I think I did more schooling than you did as a doctor." Right? But architecture, getting through a school of architecture is extremely tough. You spend late nights up and everything to only get critiqued for whatever your project was in front of like 30 or 40 people.
Oh.
So you build up a lot of resilience in that environment for sure. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Was a commercial architect. I'm retired today. I don't practice anymore, but I got to a certain point in my practice, and I literally right out of college, I started my own business, which is highly unorthodox. It's usually you go to another office, get your internship.
Right. Bigger firm.
And what I did was I hired an architect to come to work for me, which was highly, it was anyway. that's another story. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But at the end of the day, I forced myself into business. And actually, we grew that business up to about 20, 25 architects. We did a lot of healthcare work, shopping centers, and actually large end distribution centers for
Sure.
like General Electric, Big O Tires, and stuff like that. They're
Hmm.
distribution hubs. I got to a certain point, I wasn't living.
Mm.
I think I don't care where you're at, whether you're sitting at a desk in a company, uh, the velvet prison as we call it,
Yeah.
you know, or you're building your own company out. What you come to find is I don't have my life anymore,
Yeah.
right? And my son was born, and I went to a little bit of a metamorphosis at that point. I went, gosh, I found myself going over to nap time, wanting to be with him versus babysitting all the architects back at the office,
I get that.
right?
Yep.
And so anyway, I sold my practice, became a commercial broker, and I felt, gosh, commercial brokers have a great, they drive around Mercedes and they have the freedom, they have no employees. So that's what I want to become, Mr.
Sure.
Wizard. I don't know if everybody remembers the old cartoon where it's called Mr. Wizard, and the character would go off and become different things in different professions.
Fun.
Well, I told Mr. Wizard, I said, I need to get out of architecture. I got into commercial brokeraging, and that's what I'm pretty much known for.
Sure.
But through that experience, I've come to realize just how much we are alike together as human beings.
Hmm.
We all have aspirations. We all have dreams. But there are certain things that prohibit some of that stuff. And going back to your question, Sue, which is literally the start of the book, was journey of mindset. You
Hmm.
see, every chapter in the book is a journey chapter, some facet of our life. The very
Sure.
first chapter is journey of mindset. What were we taught when we were young, right? From the moment that we were born and the doctor held us up by our hind legs and slapped us on the butt, that symbolism started a fixed mindset attitude, right?
Oh, yeah, sure, sure. If you remember the old phrase, children learn what they live. Well, there you are living, and without realizing it, you're absorbing everything around you, the people's attitudes, people's beliefs, people's directions, their expectations.
Right.
It's a big thing. We don't even know. We're totally unconscious about that in most cases.
Harold DeWitt, major professor over at Stanford University, wrote a lot about mindset.
Hmm.
And I went in and really looked at all her research and so forth, and recognizing she talked about, we're fixed mindsets or we're growth mindset people. And the book in that chapter really digs deep, deep, very deep into mindset.
Sure.
And what we've discovered is that mindset is really not really fixed or growth, but there's a bandwidth of mindset. Now, most of us, I would almost tend to say probably 95% of us or greater, is left side of center towards a fixed mindset.
Hmm.
And one of my theories, and I have no science to back this up. So, but I think the only time when we had a growth mindset, or purely a growth mindset, is the day we were born.
Mm-hmm.
Before the doctor, slapped us on the butt.
Yep.
You know, we didn't know what no was. We didn't understand what limitations were. Then we go to school, grade school or whatever. The teacher tells us, go sit down, stand up, go recite this, go to recess, do this, do that. All of a sudden, what we were doing to ourselves, those apps that we were downloading into our cerebral hard drives of what we were told, how we were structured, was leading us to an industrial work environment.
Hmm. Yep.
Now, I want to put a disclosure down here, and that is, I am not saying I'm against jobs before I go on any further. Jobs are necessary. And
Yep.
thank all of us that we have jobs to go to help pay for our responsibilities that we have. So we're not relying on others to take care of those responsibilities. Right. So
Right.
so nothing against jobs. Well, you know what happens after college? your partner, maybe you meet somebody, you have a family, you get 2 dogs, 2 cars, that rental payment of the apartment went into maybe a mortgage payment.
Yep.
Your Visa bill is up to, I think, the overall national debt on Visa right now is 17 trillion. We're living,
Ouch. Yeah.
we have these little bank loan cards in our pocket called Visa and MasterCard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to get an approval to use them. We just go use them whenever we want. And that starts racking up the debt at the end of the month. So that little job that we had in college or maybe in high school just to get some extra money, all of a sudden becomes a permanent fixture in our life.
Yes, absolutely.
We have now built the thing that we were taught early in our life. We were taught to go build a work lifestyle and then maybe have maybe a weekend off, maybe go to Disneyland, you
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
have that momentary enjoyment, but then it's back to the grind. And then pretty soon we wake up around 60, 65 years of age, maybe sooner in your 50s going, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that all it is? There's got to be more to life.
Yeah.
And we talk about this extensively, and I'll get into this a little bit. We have 4 pillars of alignment in joy. And those 4 pillars, I'll just go into them now. One is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
How are we calibrated? Can you take that fixed mindset and change it towards a more of a growth leaning mindset?
Sure.
So what is a growth? What would be an example of a growth mindset? Now, again, the book talks about a lot of people from both sides of the aisle, liberal and conservative. It has nothing to do with politics. So
Mm-hmm.
let's take the politics out of all this stuff,
Sure.
right? And just look at us as human beings striving for a better life. So a growth mindset person would be that like an Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You see, Elon, few interesting facts about Elon. We'll get into this a little bit too. Elon reads about 10 to 12 books a month. And most highly successful people read all the time. It's the cheapest way to get your education.
Oh, yes.
But Elon didn't take failure as a setback. He looked at failure as a set up for success.
Sure. Sure.
So, and I'm not saying, it may sound obvious, but would any one of us think about a PayPal opportunity and go, yeah, I'm going to put all my time and effort in this thing called PayPal. I don't know if it's going to do anything or go anywhere, but I got to go out and knock on doors and raise all this. He didn't look at no. He got a lot of no's. Jeff Bezos got a ton of no's.
Sure. Well, and aren't we taught from the get-go to be fairly risk averse, depending on who's giving us this information? And it's well, get yourself a good job and get established, and then make sure you have all your safety nets in place. You've got a good savings. You've got your medical, on and on and on. And well, don't take chances. Keep your nose clean. Put your head down, tail up, nose to the grindstone. All of that sort of thing that prevents just exactly what you're talking about, that growth focus.
Yeah, we get busy.
Mm-hmm.
In life doesn't promote a life going forward.
No.
We get stuck on the fence of life by being busy.
Yes.
Busy does not mean productivity. Busy just means, okay, I got done with today. If I just do the same thing today and tomorrow, I won't get fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That mindset really started between our grading system early on in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you got an F, you were a bad person.
That's right.
And if you did get an F, or let's say a C, and I got a number of those in my life, you didn't make it. You didn't stand up.
No.
You weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And so we created this thing around failure as you're not being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
As
Sure.
you're not smart enough. And unfortunately, that mindset, like what you were just saying, translated down in life to where we're at in our lives, in our 20s, 30s, and 40s,
Mm.
where that valuable time to find ourselves is absorbed in just getting through the day, getting
Yes,
through another week, and maybe
exactly.
have a Sunday off, to have a barbecue, right? So there's four basically pillars of joy. And again, everybody, joy, the acronym for joy is, let's repeat it, journey of you. The joy is in your journey. Now, what does that actually mean? It's finding your purpose, your value, and ultimately your freedom. So finding a greater purpose in your life, raising the value of your time to become valuable in a process to create freedom in your life. So going back, there's four pillars. One is mindset. We just talked about. The book goes really deep into that. The book is a serious book.
Sure.
It is 400 pages. It
Wow.
took over 3 years to write. It's not AI generated. It is heartfelt and straightforward into improving the life of the reader. Without getting into nebulous exercises and stuff like that, that a lot of these books do, you know, and all of a sudden, I can't do that. I can't take a journal for every second of my day. That's impossible. Huh? It's gonna be some. So finding joy is a great primer book as you start your journey. Identity is the second pillar. Who are you? What do you believe who you are? Are you confident? Are you doubtful? What is your persona? What is your branding? I always kind of equate us. We're kind of all like boxes of cereal on the aisle, right, of life. All
And
boxes of cereal.
there's probably a lot of people feel that they're part of the no-name brand cereal.
Yeah, exactly. The generic, right? But what makes and this sounds kind of silly, but what makes a buyer buy one brand versus the no-name brands? It's packaging, it's marketing, it's the look of it, it's confidence, it's trustworthiness of what it is.
Yeah.
It's all identity. So when you wake up in the morning, what level of respect do you have for your own persona, for your own identity, your own branding? What do you look like when you go out in the morning? I don't care what packaging God puts you in. He made you perfect the way you are. Let's stop victimizing ourselves because I'm this or that or what. No. I mean, I could look at Stephen Hawking's when he was alive and he had a terrible disease, ALS,
Yeah.
right? But his brain was amazing. But you know what you looked at when you saw Stephen Hawking's? Not a man in a wheelchair that couldn't control his muscle reaction. You saw an Einstein in front of you, a living Einstein.
Yeah.
That's what you
Sure.
saw.
Yeah.
His branding went beyond his physical nature.
Hmm.
So identity is extremely important. And the book goes into branding, identity, almost reshaping who you are, looking at just some fundamentals of,
For sure.
what are you wearing? How do you greet the world? How does the world greet you?
Yeah.
Right. The other thing is, and part of identity is relationships.
Hmm.
Who's your friends? One of the great, I think Jim Rohn may have said this one. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Who
Or
you
you
hanging
are the
out with?
sum. Yeah. You're the sum of the five people you hang with.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. The book really goes into be honest with yourself. If you respect yourself, you got to respect yourself more than the relationships you're involved with. You
Well,
have to
and
respect yourself more than the relationships you're involved with.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, who's more important in your life? It should be you. You're the main actor in your story. You're the author of your own book. And it takes you to write the script. And you see, finding joy is just about that. Are you job led? Are you life led? Or are you joy led? Really a big, big difference. Job led and joy led, the difference is one letter
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it
That's
changes
right.
everything.
Hmm.
Right. And
Hmm.
so what the book is trying to say is wake up before it's too late. Wake up. Your life is too important. You are so special to be on this planet playground Earth,
That's right.
right? That in the whole universe, you're it. How are you going to spend that time, right? So the next one is time.
Mm-hmm.
Your time is one of the pillars. We all wake up every morning and we have a time bank, and
How
go
many
to,
seconds is it? There's a
yeah,
14,000 and some seconds. We all
exactly.
have the same.
It's interesting. The book actually talks about that. I don't know exactly what the figure is,
I
but
forget to.
yeah, but we have a time bank, and I want everybody to really think about this metaphorically. You wake up every morning and go to the time bank. You go to the ATM, the automatic time machine,
Yep.
and you withdraw so much time. And when you withdraw that time, how are you spending that time? How is that? And there's two ways we can go on this. How are you spending your time monetarily, let's say? Are you a Dollar Tree store, right? Or are you a Neiman Marcus? How do you look at your time? Really very, very valuable. Many people don't look at their time that has value. They just don't. I mean, I know you've talked to thousands of people. I have too. They don't look at their time in this perspective. But if you look at that time in that perspective, then all of a sudden you start thinking about yourself, gee, you know something? Yeah, I'm at this job and it's only paid me, $20 an hour. Is that worth the actual time I have? Or should I get life straighted? Should I get life straighted? Enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to find something that will raise the value of my time because my job won't,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You are in command of your time and who you're spending your time with. It goes back to relationships. So time is the next pillar. The last one is destination. Where are you heading to? Most of us just we have it on autopilot. After college, and part of autopilot is being auto busy,
Yeah. It's like the
right?
merry-go-round of life, right? It spins and spins and spins. And is it going anywhere? Well, no, not really, but it's sure spinning fast.
Right. And then you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, kind of in a cold sweat going, man, or you look at yourself in the mirror in the next morning and you say, where did the time go by? Maybe you're losing hair, your hair went gray, and all of a sudden you're a little bit more, you have a little bit more aches and pains. And you're going, this went way too fast. I mean, I can apply this to my own life. I remember 33 years ago when I was holding my son in my arms and we were in the front room dancing to James Taylor together,
Nice.
you know? And that was yesterday. Sue, that
Oh,
was yesterday.
absolutely it was. Absolutely. Yeah. My son's 42 this year, and I'm going, how the heck did that happen?
Right,
Where did that time
right,
go? Because, of course, our memory goes back in an instant to the day they were born or a significant event when they were tiny. And so I just shook my head and now here we are.
right, right. And so what the book really tries to do, Finding Joy Journey of You, tries to create sensitivity to who we are, what is our place in the world, what can we give back in value of our time to others to raise their value so that we can create ultimate freedom in life. It works every single time.
Sure. Sure.
Every single time. I've been in business. Actually, to be honest with you and the audience, I never worked for anybody. My mom really drilled that into me. I never actually had an employer.
Sure.
In college maybe, but in adult life, really not.
No.
And that's not an easy road to do. But I will tell you, what is harder, working every day of your life away and then laying on that bed at the end of life going, how, I wish I would have done this or,
Yeah.
and die in regret?
Yeah.
No. So what Finding Joy Journey of You does as a book, it gives us the ability to stop for a second. Just stop. It's okay. Give ourselves a respite. But instead of just doing a vacation and relaxing, it's not that. It's give yourself a respite to reflect on your life and where that trajectory is going. And the next question is, can you change it?
Yeah.
Now, it takes work. This is not an easy path, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
Well, of course, when you think of being firmly entrenched in a particular path, that you've discovered, well, this path didn't really get me where I thought it was going to go. You know, they told me if I did this, and this, I was
Yeah.
going to get this, and then you're going to be happy. And I did all of that. And here I am. Am I happy? No. And maybe all of the things they promised I'd get, I didn't actually end up getting anyway. So
Right.
so then we look at, well, something needs to shift because the discontent and the sadness and the disappointment that can come out of that, well, it can eat away at us at such a fast rate. Well, of course, we know that dis-ease multiplied and multiplied and multiplied eventually becomes disease. And
Right.
so then you go, oh, and I know lots of people, and I'm included in that batch that faced, you know, a life-threatening situation at different times, and all of a sudden you look at your life differently and saying, wait a minute, whatever precious time I have left, I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to make
Right.
sure that I'm doing things that bring me joy, that bring me meaning. You talked about finding your purpose and what's your value. Well, this is an inside game. It's not an outside game.
Oh, exactly right. You know, I love your story that you just said, because the reason why we find ourselves in that position is because we believe in others first before believing in ourselves.
Exactly.
And you know, it's like life is like an infomercial where they tell you certain things and you know it's not true. They're
That's
hype-
right.
they're hyping something. They're hyping a product or whatever.
Yeah.
But But it really comes down to giving you the authority to be able to write your own story. And again, that takes time to do that. And it takes work. Yes, you may have to maintain your job, right? And thank God for that. While you're developing a better purpose, a stronger purpose, a more directional purpose in your life. Soon you'll be able to wean off of your contemporary industrial life to a life purpose filled the way you want to direct it. Because through that, the value of your time will be raised. You'll be giving value to others and it will come back to you. That's literally the secret sauce of every successful person. And we talk about that in Finding Joy Journey of You.
Hmm.
There's many stories of people we all know. They started from literally nothing. Yeah, they had jobs. Maybe the jobs
Yeah.
were kind of sucky, but they knew there was something greater in their life. Les Brown, really a mentor of mine. I love him to death. If you don't know Les Brown, your audience, go out and take a look at him. And what I'm going to be telling everybody to do is go get yourself a mentor. Go get yourself a coach.
Yeah.
Have someone that will help guide you along this journey. Les Brown will kind of puts our whole conversation into one little sentence. And he said a couple quick things. Number one, the greatness is within you. You just have
Hmm.
to find it. I always say God gave us all the dots. We just need to be smart enough to connect them, right? Les Brown said something like, you know, you only work hard enough so they don't fire you, and they only pay you enough so you don't quit,
Isn't that true? Well,
right?
it becomes such you could call it the golden anchor that prevents you from living your best life. And I'm fond of encouraging people to look at themselves as the creator of your own life. Well, if you don't like the life you have, first of all, well, you created it. So if you created it, you can uncreate it and you can also recreate it. So,
Yeah, you know, Sue, you could have wrote the book.
well,
You are awesome because
thank you.
you, all of us have to get above the clouds and look at our life in a different perspective. That's almost like what the cover does. You know, each one of the hot air balloons on the cover of the book represents our individual life going through our journeys. But you've got to get up above the clouds. You have to have a clear vision of where you want to go to. That may take some time. One of the things that we do as people that is unfortunate, we don't read,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I always say the very first step in changing your direction is changing what you do during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And these are really easy steps to take. If you're in that rut, then obviously something is not moving forward for you. you really have to assess what you do every day. Obviously, maybe a job takes 8 hours, right? To and from your job, maybe add another hour in there, right?
Right.
So now you're 9 hours. You're sleeping at least maybe 8 hours,
Sure.
right? And that only leaves over so much time that you can say to yourself, I just want to turn on a TV program and escape.
Exactly.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that's almost like a drug,
Sure it is. Sure it is.
you know?
Escapism is a big factor when we don't feel good about what we're doing or what's going on with ourselves. And I can remember back in the day when I'm a self-confessed growth junkie.
Okay.
So my addiction is growth, really. And so I can remember having on my bedside table probably 8 business and personal growth related books with markers in various points of the book. And okay, what am I going to read now? And finally, I had to stop reading at night because it would keep me up because I'd get so excited about all these new
Right.
ideas. And you're right,
Uh,
there's a wealth of information in books that can guide us, mentor us, even if you're not able to find a coach. By the way, I agree with your idea of getting a coach. Let's face it, I mean, you don't learn to play hockey without the coach. You don't learn to
no,
play any sport without the coach. Well, how come we're
right.
doing life without a coach?
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. And the book also goes into this part of it. We download so much junk to our cerebral hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't do that to our phones, but we'll
No,
do it to our brain,
yeah,
you
that's
know?
right.
And I want everybody to think about that too, is that what is the apps you're downloading? Is it reality TV programs because you just want to escape from the day and get involved in somebody else's problems? Or their lack of better terms, trashiness?
Yeah.
Are you on dark media? What are you polluting your brain with? The very first thing that I would say to everybody, and now maybe you don't do that. That's wonderful. But a lot of people do. Number one, stop creating influences through media that's not putting your life forward by interjecting toxicities and negativities into your brain that you're literally downloading just like an app on your phone. Stop it. Because it's not moving you forward.
No,
It'll never move you
no.
forward. It's not there to move you forward. It's there to engage you, to keep you from your purpose in life.
Oh,
And the
exactly.
book is not religious at all. I am Christian based by nature. Um, and I look at these other influences outside as almost evil influences that keeps us away from the purpose that we were given to be here on earth, to be here on playground earth, right?
Yeah.
So get away from the reality programs. The book talks about other books. In Finding Joy Journey of You, I'm promoting other books out there from John Maxwell, Celeste Brown, Tony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, all the books that you probably read, Sue.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them.
Um,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the shortest point of education and the greatest way to change your life. Now, the other thing is, you start reading those books, you're going to find a whole new crop of friends.
Absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
going to find that, and we talk about this too in the book. We have, your friendship circle, and you are the dot inside your friendship circle. You are the center point. And we have these concentric circles going out from the dot, and your close group of friends, your associations, society, and so forth. Who are you gathering yourself around? So when you start elevating your brain power, when you start updating your cerebral hard drive, you're going to start finding other people are going to be coming into your life, and you're going to be able to start communicating with those people at a different level. And
Yes.
that's what finding joy is about. Give yourself the ability. It's not to be better than anybody else. In fact, it's the opposite. It's to help everybody else. I personally believe in down deep inside, and I think you do the same, is that if we can raise the value of one person to two people to three, four, all of us are doing that, we're going to change the complexion of the world.
Yes. Well,
Maybe that's not realistic, but
well, but the thing is, if we think about it from the perspective of our uniqueness, first of all, there isn't one other living soul on the planet like us, you know. So there's no point comparing because there is nobody like you. You're unique. And you're unique in your own magnificence too. And
Yeah.
of course, but if you are not willing to seek that beauty in you, it's going to be hard for you to find it in anybody else too.
Right.
And of course, just the very seeking it in you, you start seeing others that have, because we're mirrors for each other. And so it's important, I think, that we start we do a little reset, you know, the just like our computer goes a little bit strange and we say, okay, push the reset button here just to make it act better. Well, we need a reset here to say, am I doing things that scare me all the time? I watch the news and I'm scared, and I listen to the neighbors talk about the bad thing that happened in the neighborhood two
Yeah.
neighborhoods over from me, and I'm scared. And well, how far away from joy can you get if you're living in fear all the time?
Yeah. Well, fear breeds a comfort zone, you know, and we talk about this in the book. We are like in our comfort cave.
Yeah,
Now we're too afraid to go out because of the saber-toothed tiger may be out there.
yeah.
Um, but a lot of this comes together in the joy alignment.
Hmm.
When your life is working with you, your life is working with you and not against you.
Sure, sure.
Most of us live a life that's working against us. You know, we're constantly in struggle, daily struggle, monthly struggle. You know, just trying to pay the PG&E, you know, pay the mortgage payment and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But there is a better life out there. The good news is there is a better life. It's in you. And the real big question for your audience is, and I want everybody to think about this, are you life led? Are you reactive to everything that's around you?
Hmm.
Or are you joy led? Are you intentional about your life, your living, what you are doing? Are you taking up opportunities? Are you branching yourself out? Are you joining, like networking type of organizations, Toastmasters or whatever, to bring out other skill sets in you, right? I mean, every day it's almost like we get up and we're on a surfboard. You got to learn how to balance, and you'll get out there and you'll do it because your life is worth doing. And when you start recognizing that, man, everything opens up. Everything opens up.
Yes.
I'm just super excited being with you. I'm honored.
Well, we're on fire. There's no question, Ted.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, my dream for the younger generation, I've met quite a few young people lately being when I joined the podcast community because of starting out as a guest. And a lot of my hosts are in that 25 to 35 age range, and they're picking transformation and personal growth as kind of their thing they want to talk about. And so there's this question in the back of my mind, like, what is it that has gone on? Now, I think you and I have seeded the ground. Like, it wasn't easy to get from where we were to where we are now. But my
Yeah.
hope has always been that we're making it easier for the generations that come behind us so that they can fly higher, faster, farther, easier, you know, so that it's not, and maybe sooner. Like, yeah, I get that we get wisdom with age, but I think we can get wisdom earlier if we pay attention sooner.
Oh, there's a lot of, yeah. I mean, with the advent of AI,
Mm-hmm.
it's the growth capacity of each one of us using AI properly. And I use AI every day now. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's almost like a personal assistant.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
and and I think are exactly right. The knowledge base is going to grow exponentially, from when we were younger to what the younger age groups are today.
Yeah.
They have
Oh,
the
for sure.
ability to literally obtain more information faster and can question that information better than I think when we were younger and we lived in more of a microcosm of our community. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
this is the younger generation is more globally oriented, which is a good thing.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
as we reach out and recognize that We may speak different languages, but we're all human beings together. The ability of that younger person, and I see this also because I'm on a number of podcasts and younger podcast people and so forth, and they gravitate towards a book like Finding Joy. In fact,
Hmm.
I was on one just yesterday where the person was saying, "Man, you're really answering a lot of my questions that I have in my life." You
Exactly.
know,
Well, sure.
and like what you said, we're handing this information down to create a better society of value versus just running through people's lives on a work wheel.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ted, this has been such fun engaging with you and finding out more about the journey of you through joy. I really encourage my listeners to get this book because if you're at that pivotal point where things have not been turning out as well as you dreamed of or hoped and something needs to shift and change, doesn't matter what age you are, this is a great guide. I can tell already that I'm a how-to kind of person, and so anytime people give me steps and stages and pillars and things to look at, then it because it gives us a structure. So there's the architecture background coming out,
Yep.
right? Here's the structure. You're going to rebuild your life, and here's a book that can help you do that. Two things I want to finish up with then, Ted. First is any words of wisdom, and then the second is how people can find you and your book. So any final words of wisdom for my listeners?
Yeah, probably the billboard sign here would be: Are you life led or are you joy led?
Hmm.
It's your choice. It really is. And we can dissect all that like we just did, but your time here on earth is valuable. Each one of us. Find your purpose. God gave you everything you need,
Yeah.
right? Find your purpose. Create greater value for your time to become valuable in a process, and you'll find ultimate freedom. You see, and again, the book is not religious, but it's my personal feeling that God doesn't want us to be in struggle every day of our life. He wants us to enjoy the time we have here,
Yes.
but at the same time, give value to others so that we can lead them to a greater future. Finding Joy, it's a beautiful blue cover. As the architect, I designed it.
Nice. Nice.
The Finding Joy is a real book. It took 3 years to write. It's about 400 pages, so it's a serious book. It really will help you. So, Finding Joy: Journey of You, Finding Your Purpose, Your Value, and Freedom. You can get that at Barnes and Noble. If you go there or type in that and the author's name, Kopecko, Kopecko, my last name, or Amazon. You can get it there. Or the book has a wonderful website. It's
Oh, there you go.
Finding Joy. Yeah, it's findingjoy.us. So findingjoy.us. That's how I like to put it.
There we go.
And on there, if you go there, guys, there is a serious workbook on there. It's about 80 pages. It's the Finding Joy workbook. Go on there, download that for free. Get your book. It accompanies the book. Now, I will tell everybody, you finish the Finding Joy workbook. It's not easy. You will be sent. I will make sure that you get a Finding Joy diploma because you've graduated into your new life, and we're here for you. We also have developing courses in there and newsletters and stuff like that. So we're just building that community up, and so we would love to have you guys be a part of it. Findingjoy.us. And you guys, it's been awesome. And I hope you get this #1 international bestseller in motivational self-help, personal transformation, and self-esteem. I'm blessed that that went to that extent. So,
Wonderful.
Sue, you've been awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, it's been my pleasure to have you as a guest, Ted. So, for all of you magnificent ones out there, I know you've had great value today. So pay attention and look at creating your next best life. Find your joy. Until the next time, we'll see you again on Magnify with Sue. That's it for today's episode of Magnify Your Magnificence. If this resonated, hit subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. And if you're ready to go even deeper, come join me at magnifywithsue.com. I'd love to keep walking this path with you.